Over 2,500 years ago, the Buddha spoke about the nature of the human mind and how easily we become trapped in illusions and attachments. In his teachings, he warned that people would become prisoners of a false reality constructed by insatiable desires. Today, we can see this prophecy reflected in how millions of people have become addicted to social media. Social media is designed to capture our attention through constant notifications, likes, and endless feeds. This creates a compulsive need for external validation, which closely resembles what Buddha called tanha, or the unquenchable thirst that causes suffering. In this video, we will explore these connections and share practical Buddhist methods to break free from this addiction. Buddha identified the causes of suffering in mental attachments and unfulfilled desires. In the context of social media, we want to be constantly connected, and this leads to anxiety, depression, and a perpetual state of restlessness. According to Buddhism, liberation begins through awareness of these attachments and through developing mindfulness, which means clear awareness of the present moment. Mindfulness is not just a passive state. It is a skill that can be practiced step by step through simple breathing techniques and attention to thoughts that come and go. Practicing mindfulness helps break the compulsive cycle of checking your phone and allows the mind to free itself from digital dependencies. Another key Buddhist concept is non-attachment, or upekkha, which means acceptance and detachment without losing compassion for yourself. Non-attachment means using technology, including social media, with wisdom and moderation, without being controlled by it. An effective technique recommended by many Buddhist traditions is to set clear boundaries for time spent on social media. This way, we can create free mental spaces where we connect with ourselves and with nature, instead of being prisoners of the endless news feed. Buddha also taught that suffering can be eliminated through practicing the Noble Eightfold Path, which includes right understanding, right effort, and right concentration. In the context of the digital world, these principles help us cultivate a healthy relationship with technology and its associated stress. Many recent studies confirm the benefits of mindfulness meditation in reducing social media-related anxiety and improving focus and well-being. This is not a new idea. Buddha showed us millennia ago the path to inner freedom, which is still valid today. For many, transformation begins with small steps, turning off phones an hour before bed or using apps that limit time on platforms. These gestures prevent negative impact on sleep and emotional state. In Buddhism, the practice of community or sangha is essential. Surrounding yourself with people who share the same values and practices can provide support and motivation to stay on the path of digital liberation. The beautiful part is that we do not have to give up technology completely to live in harmony. Buddha did not forbid anything. He called for wisdom in all actions. We can choose to be masters of social media, not its slaves. A simple exercise is to observe the impulse to check your phone when it arises, without reacting immediately. This conscious delay creates space and freedom, reducing dependency and stress. Buddha urged compassion toward ourselves, not to judge ourselves harshly if we give in to temptation, but to always return gently to the path of mindfulness. This is the healing power of Buddhism applied to modern life. Thus, through wisdom, intention, and practice, we can transform social media from a source of suffering into a tool of awareness and real connection. It is the ancient lesson that proves to be the most relevant today. I invite you to try these simple practices today and notice the change in your stress level and happiness. For more profound teachings and practical solutions, stay with Functional Buddhism. The Buddha recognized that our minds are naturally drawn to pleasure, and we constantly seek stimulation. Social media companies understand this deeply and have engineered their platforms to exploit this very human tendency. Every notification, every like, every comment triggers a small dopamine release in our brains, creating a pattern that keeps us coming back for more. This is precisely what Buddha warned about when he spoke of sensory craving. He taught that true happiness does not come from external sources, but from inner peace and contentment. When we endlessly scroll through feeds, we are searching for something outside ourselves that can never truly satisfy us. The Buddhist practice of meditation teaches us to sit with discomfort and boredom without immediately seeking distraction. This is revolutionary in our modern world, where we reach for our phones the moment we feel any unease. By learning to be present with whatever arises, we break the automatic pattern of digital escape. Buddha also spoke about the middle way, avoiding extremes in either direction. This applies perfectly to our relationship with technology. We do not need to become digital hermits, but we also should not be enslaved by our devices. Finding balance is the key. One powerful Buddhist technique is called noting, where you simply label what is happening in your mind without judgment. When you feel the urge to check social media, you can note craving arising or restlessness present. This simple act of recognition often dissolves the compulsion. The concept of impermanence or anicca is another relevant teaching. Social media creates an illusion of permanence and importance around trivial moments. Buddhism reminds us that everything is constantly changing, and that clinging to any moment, whether positive or negative, causes suffering. When we post on social media, we often seek validation and fear criticism. Buddha taught about the ego and how it creates suffering through its constant need for approval. By recognizing this pattern, we can begin to post from a place of authentic sharing rather than desperate seeking. The Buddhist precept of right speech applies directly to our online interactions. Before posting or commenting, we can ask ourselves, is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? This simple filter would transform social media if widely adopted. Many people report feeling worse about their lives after scrolling through social media, seeing curated highlights of others. Buddhism teaches us about comparison mind and how it steals our joy. Everyone is on their own unique path, and comparison is meaningless. The practice of loving kindness meditation, or metta, can heal the negativity we encounter online. Instead of reacting with anger or hurt, we can silently wish well-being for those who post negative content. This protects our own peace while sending positive energy into the digital space. Buddha emphasized the importance of direct experience over second-hand knowledge. Social media often replaces real-life experiences with virtual ones. We watch others living instead of fully engaging with our own lives. Buddhism invites us back to direct engagement with reality. The teaching of dependent origination shows how everything is interconnected. While social media appears to connect us, it often creates shallow relationships that lack depth and genuine human warmth. Buddhism encourages us to prioritize face-to-face connections and deep listening. One of the most powerful Buddhist practices for social media addiction is the digital Sabbath, taking regular breaks from all devices. This could be 1 day per week, or even just a few hours daily. During this time, we reconnect with what truly matters: relationships, nature, creativity, silence. Buddha taught about the 5 hindrances to meditation, and many of them apply to social media addiction. Restlessness, worry, doubt, sloth, and sensory desire all play a role in keeping us scrolling. By recognizing these patterns, we can work skillfully with them. The concept of beginner's mind, or Shoshin from Zen Buddhism, means approaching each moment fresh without preconceptions. When we mindlessly scroll, we are on autopilot. Bringing beginner's mind to our phone use means consciously choosing each time we pick up the device. Buddhist philosophy teaches that craving and aversion are 2 sides of the same coin. We crave likes and positive comments while feeling aversion to criticism or being ignored. Both reactions keep us trapped in suffering. Equanimity is the middle path, where we remain balanced regardless of external feedback. The practice of gratitude, which is central to many Buddhist traditions, can counteract social media's tendency to make us feel inadequate. Taking time each day to appreciate what we have, rather than focusing on what others appear to have, shifts our entire perspective. Buddha spoke about the 6 sense doors through which we experience the world: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Social media primarily engages our eyes and mind, creating an imbalanced experience. Buddhism encourages engaging all senses for a full, rich life experience. The teaching of non-self, or anatta, reminds us that our identity is not fixed. Social media encourages us to create and maintain a false fixed persona. Buddhism invites us to let go of this construction and live more authentically without constant self-curation. Mindful consumption is a Buddhist principle that applies perfectly to media consumption. Just as we should be mindful of what we eat, we should be mindful of what we consume digitally. Is it nourishing, or is it junk food for the mind? The Buddhist concept of skillful means or upaya suggests that we use whatever works to reduce suffering. For some, this might mean deleting social media apps. For others, it might mean scheduling specific times for use. There is no one-size-fits-all solution, only what works for your path. Buddha emphasized personal responsibility for our own liberation. No one else can free us from social media addiction. We must take ownership of our choices and commit to the practices that support our well-being. This is empowering rather than overwhelming when approached with self-compassion. The practice of body scan meditation helps us notice physical sensations associated with phone use. Often we hold tension in our neck, shoulders, and eyes from excessive screen time. By bringing awareness to these sensations, we naturally moderate our use. Buddhist teachings on death and impermanence remind us that life is precious and limited. When we spend hours scrolling, we are literally trading irreplaceable moments of our lives for fleeting digital content. This perspective can be sobering and motivating. The concept of right livelihood from the Eightfold Path asks us to consider whether our work causes harm. For those who create content, this is an important ethical consideration. Are we contributing to addiction and suffering, or are we offering genuine value and wisdom? Buddha taught that ignorance is the root cause of suffering. In the context of social media, this means being unaware of how platforms are designed to manipulate us. Education about these mechanisms is itself a form of liberation and protection. The practice of walking meditation offers a perfect antidote to screen time. Instead of scrolling, we can walk slowly and mindfully, feeling each step and breath. This grounds us in our bodies and in the present moment in a way that social media never can. Buddhist psychology recognizes different mental states and their qualities. Social media often induces what is called scattered mind jumping from topic to topic without depth. Meditation cultivates collected mind, where we can focus deeply and find genuine satisfaction. The teaching of the three poisons, greed, hatred, and delusion, all manifest in social media use. We greedily consume content, we react with hatred to opposing views, and we live in the delusion that digital life equals real life. Recognizing these poisons is the first step to freedom. Buddha spoke about 4 kinds of clinging to sensual pleasures, to views, to rituals, and to the concept of self. Social media involves all 4. We cling to the pleasure of notifications, to our ideological echo chambers, to the ritual of checking our phones, and to our curated online identity. The practice of jhana, or meditative absorption, shows us that true joy comes from within, not from external stimulation. Once we taste this inner contentment, the hollow pleasure of social media loses much of its appeal. This is not deprivation, but discovering something far better. Buddhist monasteries often have periods of noble silence where no communication is permitted. Applying this to our digital lives, even for short periods, allows our nervous systems to reset and our minds to find their natural clarity and peace. The Lotus Sutra teaches that everyone has Buddha nature, the potential for awakening. Social media often makes us feel inadequate or less than others. Buddhism reminds us of our inherent worth and wholeness, regardless of followers' likes or online status. Buddha's final teaching was to work out your own salvation with diligence. This applies beautifully to social media freedom. No guru, no app, no technique can do it for us. We must practice consistently with patience and self-compassion, trusting the process. The concept of karma, or action and consequence, is clear with social media. The time we invest in scrolling has real consequences for our mental health, relationships, and life satisfaction. By making wiser choices, we create better karma and better outcomes. Zen Buddhism emphasizes just sitting or shikantaza meditation without any goal or technique. This radical simplicity is the opposite of social media's constant stimulation and achievement orientation. Sometimes, we need to just be without doing or consuming anything. The Buddhist understanding of suffering, dukkha, includes not just pain, but also the subtle dissatisfaction that pervades conditioned existence. Social media amplifies this dissatisfaction by constantly showing us what we do not have, who we are not, and where we are not. Thich Nhat Hanh taught about interbeing, how everything is connected. Our social media use affects not just us, but our families, communities, and even global society. By freeing ourselves, we contribute to freeing others, and to creating a healthier collective relationship with technology. The practice of refuge in Buddhism means taking refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. When we feel the pull of social media, we can take refuge instead in wisdom, in truth, and in genuine community. This provides a powerful alternative anchor. Buddha taught about wise attention, paying attention to what is beneficial and turning away from what is harmful. This requires honest assessment of how social media use affects us. For some, it may be mostly positive, but for many, it causes more harm than good. The concept of emptiness or shunyata in Buddhism means that nothing has independent, permanent existence. This includes our online personas and the content we consume. Recognizing the empty, constructed nature of social media loosens its grip on us. Buddhist ethics are based on non-harming. We should consider not just how social media harms us, but also how our use might harm others. Do our posts create division, envy, or misinformation? Right action applies online as much as offline. The teaching of the 3 marks of existence, impermanent, suffering, and non-self can be applied to every social media post we encounter. Each one is temporary, ultimately unsatisfying, and does not define who we are or who posted it. This perspective creates healthy distance. Finally, Buddha taught about liberation, nirvana, as the end of suffering. While we may not achieve full enlightenment through managing our social media use, we can definitely reduce our suffering and increase our peace. This is worth every effort and brings benefits to every area of life. The journey to freedom from social media addiction is not about perfection, but about progress. Each time we choose to pause before checking our phones, each time we set down the device to fully engage with someone we love, we are practicing Buddhism. These small acts accumulate into profound transformation. Remember that Buddha himself faced temptations during his enlightenment. Mara, the personification of delusion, tried to distract him with visions and fears. Social media is a modern Mara, and we can respond as Buddha did with steady awareness and refusal to be pulled off center. The beauty of applying Buddhist wisdom to modern problems is that it works. These teachings have survived for millennia precisely because they address universal human challenges. Technology changes, but human nature and the path to peace remain constant. Start today with one simple practice. Perhaps commit to 5 minutes of meditation before checking your phone in the morning. Or practice mindful breathing 3 times before opening a social media app. Small changes create momentum. Share your journey with others. Just as Sangha supports Buddhist practice, having accountability partners for healthy technology use multiplies our chances of success. We are not alone in this struggle, and together we are stronger. Be patient with yourself. Addiction of any kind takes time to heal. There will be setbacks, and that is okay. What matters is that you keep returning to your intention to live with greater awareness and freedom. Celebrate victories no matter how small. Each conscious choice to engage with life rather than a screen is worth acknowledging. This positive reinforcement supports lasting change and builds confidence in your ability to transform. Consider the bigger picture. By reclaiming your attention and time from social media, you are reclaiming your life. You are choosing presence over distraction, depth over superficiality, and real connection over virtual simulation. This is a profound choice. Buddhism teaches that we have everything we need right now for peace and happiness. Social media whispers the opposite, that we are incomplete and need more. Choose to believe the Buddha. You are already whole, already enough, already free, if you can simply recognize it. Let this video be not just information, but inspiration. Let it be the spark that ignites real change in your relationship with technology. The ancient wisdom is here waiting for you to apply it, and the results will speak for themselves. Thank you for taking this journey with me today. If these teachings resonated with you, please share this video with someone who might benefit. Subscribe to Functional Buddhism for more practical wisdom for modern life. And most importantly, put these teachings into practice, because that is where true transformation happens. May you find the freedom, peace, and joy that come from living with wisdom and intention. May you master technology rather than be mastered by it. And may you always remember that you have within you everything needed for a life of genuine happiness and fulfillment.